This video will cover some of the neat features Glogster Education has to offer. When you first view the web page, this is what you will see. There's additional information as you scroll down. I'll leave that to you to check out when you visit the page. But what I really want to show you is this. There are 4 different levels of accounts. The one that I have is the Teacher Premium account, which allows you to have 200 students, and it is, as you can see the cost there, $99 per year or $11.95 per month. As I scroll down, you'll see that in comparison, especially with the free account doesn't offer you anything. You're actually better off to stick with the regular Glogster and just leave the education portion of it. But when you get down to the bottom, as you can see, there's many choices. When you're a first-time user, you can use a 30-day trial. I recommend that, and then I would petition your administrator to see if they'd be willing to spend the money on it, or maybe even your department head. Now I've gone ahead and logged into my account, and this is the dashboard or the main page that you'll see all your options. We'll scroll down just a little bit. Like I said, we won't be touching on everything. On the right hand side, you'll see that there's classes and students. This is the part that I really like about Glogster, because you can manage your inactive students, you can manage your students, or you can add new ones. The inactive ones, let's just click on that. This page will come up and you can actually set them to inactive. And if you read up at the top here, it says you can have a maximum of 200 active students. Inactive ones will be excluded from your license, so you should make that decision fairly carefully. And then, of course, apply the changes. If you want to manage your students, and this is the one that I have used a fair amount because I recycle my accounts. Once the semester ends, I delete the accounts that I know that I won't be needing anymore, or that the students haven't requested to keep. The reason being is then that way I can get out of my 200 accounts more use out of them. Anyway, you can see that, let's just use Alex here. I can edit their portfolio, which I'll show you in a minute. I can edit their account. I can change their password. I can delete the account. I can edit their nickname, or I can even access their account as if I were them. So it gives you lots of options. You have full control over that. Last but not least, the most important part, I guess, is the idea that you can add students. So I'll add 3 students. And then where that information will show up is on your messages. So I click on there, click on here to see the actual accounts, and then there are my 3 accounts. Now I'll give you a few tips on this. What I do is I'll copy and paste the entire list. I'll put it into a Word document, and then on the right hand side here where there's space, I actually write the kids' names in. Then what I do is I photocopy that twice. One copy is to cut into little strips so that you can give this information to each individual student. The second copy is your master copy, and you'll need that because the kids do have a tendency to lose their passwords and they are hard to remember. Now those can be changed, but you have to do it, and it's very time consuming if you were to do that for a class of 30, never mind multiple classes. The other thing that I do is I get the kids to put their password into their cell phone. Then that way they'll have another copy of it. And we do that all before we go to the lab, because once you go to the lab, it's busy time. So we'll go back to the dashboard. So that shows you the first few parts here. It shows the messages, and it also shows the students. Now the other feature is the classes feature. Click on that, and you can see that I've broken my students into the specific classes that they're in, and that's nice because then you're not searching. I've also assigned each of them a project, which I'll show you in a minute, and then of course it gives you the number of students, and then I can actually click on that and the students' names from that class will show up. Now, further down is the projects portion, and this is where you can actually put the assignment onto a Glog. You can actually message your students. You can do it as a class or as individuals. Now, I've started one here, this Pro-D sample, so I'll just open that up, but up here you would create a new one. Now this is the window that will show up. Now I didn't want to spend time making a new Glog page, so I just used one of my current ones and then just clicked it in there. And then you give the project a name, you give it a description. I just put this is cool, but you would definitely want to add instructions for your students. And then of course some tags, so you can find it again later. Then you scroll down and then you assign it to whichever classes you want to assign it to. Now I've assigned it to both. Here's your message to the entire group, and then of course you can save it. Oh, before I forget, you can add it to newly added students or you can send it to all of them. It doesn't matter. Now let's go back up to the top where I saw my class list again and click on project. And there is the sample that I had just shown you. If I click on the sample or on the title of it, this is where, again, you can monitor student progress. So click down. Of course, I can edit my project or delete it if I don't like it. I can assign it to another class, or I can send a reminder to all my students again. You know, you can say there's 1 day left or whatever you want to say. Scrolling down, now these are all the students that have been assigned the project. Now, of course, my kids aren't going to be doing this because it's a sample, but you can see where they are. You can see if what they've started or if they haven't started. The other thing is that you can set a reminder to that individual student to see, you know, to maybe motivate them or whatever you need. So I'll scroll back up to the top, and so that's how the projects work. So we'll go back to the dashboard, and there's one other thing that I wanted to quickly show you. Scroll down to the bottom here, is you have, you can make presentations or you can actually save portfolio work from each student. So I created another Pro-D Day one, and this is the page that'll come up, and this is the actual presentation. And we've already seen that one. If I wanted to edit this presentation, it would be down here. In your case, because it's the first time, you would just create a new one. But this is the page that comes up. If I wanted to add a new Glog on here, I would just click on my students or whichever choice I wanted to use. I'll just click students. And let's say I want to add this. I click on it. The actual page will come up. All I do is drag it over, lock it in, and there it is. If I want to get rid of it, of course I would just hit on the X here. Of course, instructions on how to make a presentation are at the bottom here that you can read through if you're interested. So let's go back to the dashboard, and one other thing is the portfolios. And the portfolios are similar to the presentations. Oh, there they are. But now it's for an individual student. So I'll click on here, and you'll see that it's the same window that comes up for the presentations, except now it'll be for individual students. So this is for Adam. He's created two Glogs, pardon me. And again, drag it over, and then you can add his best Glogs to his portfolio. The nice thing about this is, and you can just read the instructions here as well, the nice thing here is that if you want to delete the student, you can still save their work, from what I understand. Oh yeah, it's down here. So if you, it's right here. If you delete a student from your account, his or her portfolio will be deleted as well. So I've misspoken. But it does seem that you can, if you want to delete the student, this set of instructions here allows you to keep their work. But it does, require a little bit more know-how. But I'll leave that to you because that's getting advanced. Okay, so those are the features that I'd like to show you. They've made massive changes to both education account and the regular Glogster account in recent weeks. So I'm still learning some of the new changes as well. But I hope this has been helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask.